Something you need? I'm sure either my boy or I can help you out.
Let me see your wares,
I'm
Bodon.
sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Okay, so we're gonna sell Morgan's robes, black leather collar. Also, okay, so we're gonna go over here. Final reason. Silverite staff, two-handed, 32 magic. Morgan, 3 damage, spell power, fire damage. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. And give it to Morgan because she has crap for a staff. And Ogren, you get this. Ah, she's got a full set there. That's actually pretty good. Ogren, fire resistance. I'm gonna give you this.
"'Tis cold in my tent, all alone."
That is exactly. Then get a thicker blanket.
I was thinking a warm body next to mine might be even better.
You must be joking.
Must I joke? Must it be so difficult for two who are out here alone to come together?
This isn't the time.
Spoil sport. Have it your way.
Thank you. I'm a yeah. This is what's Hector being like no, just no.
Mother's real grimoire, is it? I am glad you were able to find it after all. My thanks for retrieving it. I shall begin studying it immediately and unlock the power that it holds.
There you go. Now you must... I'd like to ask you something.
Full of questions, are you?
I'm always full of... so Flemeth is dead. What now?
Now I have enough time to study Mother's grimoire to find a way to prevent her from stealing my body in the future. For she will be back. One day, I have no doubt of that. And if I cannot protect myself, one day I will track her down again in whatever body she inhabits, and she will die again and again if need be. But there is no need to think of such things now. I have you to thank for saving me, so let us return to the task of dealing with the Darkspawn, no?
Good. I'm glad you're safe.
Let us go. There is much to be done before... There is still much to be done.
There we go. I'd like to discuss something personal.
As good a time as any.
Never mind. We're just gonna say that this doesn't happen. Because, yeah, no, there's not an actual romance going on. Ogren has a battle axe, like he should. Sten has a kunari sword. Whatever. Leliana.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
Let's just move on then.
Pull up a drink, Warden. Join me in my sodding hole.
Something bothering you?
Nah, just tired is all. Did you want to talk about something?
I'd like to know
What
more
about?
I'd like to know more about you. Do you miss Orzammar?
What? Miss Orzammar? Are you mad, in addition to being ugly? They treated me like a puddle fly back there. I'm never going back.
How dost you? Let's talk about something else. We'll talk more later.
All right, then.
Alistair approves. +2. I disapprove. -87.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you
Ask
something.
away.
Never mind. I don't feel the need to go into large amounts of introspection regarding the Grey Wardens. Okay, so what we're going to do now is finally take on these side quests.
You're a hard man to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy. Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins? Levy the trader?
Duncan never mentioned you.
Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years.
I
But
didn't
here
know
I
him
am
for long.
carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
What promise did Duncan make to you?
My family, well, past a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden Commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arlen banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
That's a bit drastic, isn't
And
it?
then some. Not much is known about that time. After King Arlen died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
So what favor did you ask of
Ask for
Duncan?
the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honour.
I've never even heard of Soldier's Peak.
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Arlen's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour.
What do you need from me?
I can pick my way through the tunnels at the base of Soldier's Peak, but the place, well, they say it's haunted, and it'll be dangerous for certain. Will you think on it at least?
Let's go to Soldier's Peak.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Oh, great. More Codex! Sophia Dryden is Ferelden's light and her most brilliant jewel. Nothing on this earth can ever quench her fire. Arlessa Sophia Dryden was the young Arlen's rival for the throne of Ferelden. Dryden was a strong and charismatic leader with much support for the Bannerlord. When Arlen finally won the crown, Dryden refused to relent. She pushed her claim, was caught, and accused of treason. Her sympathizers continued to support her, however. In order to appease them, Dryden was spared execution and forced to join the Grey Wardens instead. Dryden survived the joining and dazzled the Grey Wardens at Soldier's Peak with her leadership skills and charm. She eventually rose through the ranks to become the Warden Commander of Ferelden. Before Commander Dryden, the Grey Wardens were seen as a relic of an older time and an unnecessary drain on the nobles' coffers. Dryden, though, with her political connections, reinvigorated the Wardens and rapidly increased their numbers. In the meantime, King Arland proved himself a devious king, willing to go to brutal lengths to silence his opponents. Arland's reign of terror grew worse with each passing year, and some of the bands approached Commander Dryden in desperation, begging her to intercede. She agreed, and thus was the rebellion against King Arland born. Arland learned of the rebellion and took steps to end it. He publicly suspended all tithing to the Grey Wardens and declared that they were no longer welcome in Ferelden. Some of the Wardens, mindful that they were supposed to remain politically neutral, felt disgraced by Dryden's involvement in Ferelden politics and left her side even as the king's forces lay siege to Soldier's Peak. The siege took months and ended with the death of Sophia Dryden, from the personal files of Levi Dryden Merchant. In the years following the siege of Soldier's Peak, all those who carried the Dryden name were hunted by King Arland's forces. Our noble Dryden name was smeared, and all lands and holdings belonging to the Drydens were seized by the crown. The king feared that the rebellion started by Sophia would be kept alive by her loyal friends and family, and anyone with connections to the Drydens suffered greatly. It is little wonder, then, that the few remaining Drydens found themselves with no allies and nowhere to turn. Tobin Dryden, Sophia's brother and guardian of her young son, had no choice but to flee Ferelden. Tobin bought passage to Antiva on a merchant vessel and traveled under the name Durocher. Once in Antiva, Tobin set about building a new, quiet life for himself and his nephew. He started a small business and eventually made a name for himself as a trader. The Durocher merchant family prospered, and the name Dryden was almost forgotten. However, in 815 Blessed, Sylvie Durocher uncovered old documents belonging to Tobin and pieced together the family's history. In her pride, and perhaps in her naivete, Sylvie reclaimed the name Dryden and returned to Ferelden. King Arland lies dead, and the Dryden name lives on. Our family has survived, even thrived since the death of Sophia Dryden. Nobles of Ferelden may still spit on the Dryden name, but we Drydens know that Sophia Dryden was greater than almost a queen and a hero of the people of Ferelden. From the personal files of Levi Dryden, merchant. Interesting. To the world map. Sten looks like Sten. Oh yes, we still also have to get the stone golem dude at Anyway, we've got
Indeed.
Yes.
that was weak sauce in terms of that. To Soldier's Peak. And getting stopped on the way there. I have a glyph of paralysis with your name on it. And a stabity. And a bunch of scratches.
Need help?
Yeah, that's right. What did I
Stay down.
Oh, there's more? Okay.
was interesting. And draining.
What was that? Did you summon the spirit?
I called forth the spirit that sustains me, so that it could lend us aid. I did not realize it would take this much out of me. It seemed a good idea at the time, if a little rash. I think it may have weakened the spirit a little.
That makes sense.
Anyway, I feel quite all right now. And it seems that my little trick could be useful in a pinch.
You know yourself best.
I promise I'll be careful. And thank you. Your concern is touching.
I'm off.
To the world map, because I have other stuff to deal with.
And here we are. Soldier's Peak. Maker's breath. Look at the size of her. What a fortress. I told you the map would get us through the tunnels.
Just admit it, you were lost a couple of times.
I wasn't lost, it's just that the map got soggy. Bah, we're here. So, I'll follow you about, from a distance. This place has the stench of death. I expect there's trouble up ahead.
Soldier's Peak. Looks like it's seen better days. Better centuries, more like.
Fall back! Fall back already!
Taking the peak will not be easy, my lord.
I gave the Wardens one chance to die with honor. Instead, they hole up like cowards. We follow the King's advice, then. Starve them out.
But the peak has months of supplies.
Then we wait. When they are too weak to lift their weapons, we will send them to their final judgment.
What was that? Felt a bit woozy there. I'm not mad, am I? You saw it too?
I've heard a Norwegian ballad about something like this. A beauty trapped in a dream. In the song, Belisa never wakes up.
Your prissy friend here is making me nervous, Warden. How's this even possible? The place must truly be haunted.
Veil is thin here. Circle Tower was that way too.
Veil?
That's what separates us from the Fade and demons.
Demons? Thank Andraste you came, Warden. After you.
Doodaloo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Doodaloo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Going.
To the random statue. Reason for this? Codex! That I don't really want to read, but whatever. The Grey Warden base at Soldier's Peak was built in the middle of the Glory Age, several decades before after the Second Blight was ended. Before then, Grey Wardens in Ferelden would take up residence in castles and forts that belonged to generous nobles. Warden Commander Gaspar Asturian desired a fortified headquarters where his forces could train and live. He planned that Soldier's Peak would be a city unto itself. The defeat of the Darkspawn and the Archdemon Zazakel was fresh in the minds of the Ferelden people, and many were willing to donate gold to build Commander Asturian's fortress. Soldier's Peak was fully completed within 10 years and dedicated to the Maker in 934 glory. From the History of Grey Wardens in Ferelden by Brother Genetibi, Chantry Scholar.
All right. Where do I go? Huh. One never expects these.
Not interested in dealing with that. And the smart army grows.
Immediately.
This is obnoxious.
All right, I'm game.
Warden crossbow thingy. Yay! Not really. Because nobody's gonna use it. You know what? No. Let's put that on Alistair, just in case, as a secondary weapon if I need him to carry around this. But, use that. I don't know. I like the idea of having this option here so that you can like switch to a different set of weapons, but I don't really see the need for it. Because a lot of the times you're still going to want to have the rest of your party kind of using their usual weapons. Grey Wardens were once known for the griffin mounts on which they flew into battle. The griffin numbers waned after the last blight.
The men's morale is low. My spells are of no use in this matter, Commander.
There is more to leading men than sorcery, Avernus. I will remind them that they're wardens. Men, I won't lie to you. The situation is grim. Our forces outnumbered, our bellies empty, and our hearts are sagging. But we are wardens! Darkspawn flee when they hear our horns. Archdemons die when they taste our blades. So are we to bend knee to a mere human despot? No! I, for one, will never give up. I, for one, will never surrender just to dance on Arlen's gallows. So I propose here and now, in these hallowed halls where generations of our brethren stood vigil against darkspawn and evil, that we send a message to that fat bastard. In this sacred place, proud men, strong men stood defiant, and would rather die than submit to tyranny.
So brave, even when starving. And my great-great-grandmother stood with them.
King Arland was a tyrant?
Not much is known of King Arland. The War of Succession that followed his death, now that was a piece of work. Lasted nearly a decade, and almost burned Denerim and the palace to the ground. Loads of history was lost, but maybe there's answers to that inside. But I've gabbed enough. Lead on, my friend.
Alright. So I'm going to click on this. I'm not actually going to read it, because part of this is whole, like, essentially what this is them, like, saying, we're not going to bow to King Arlen, we're going to defy him. And here's a list of names of people who, like, Ground's virtuous men stood against the tyrant, stood defiant, and stood for freedom, and they died. It is signed by the Grey Warden defenders who were besieged by King Arlen's forces. Basically, the list that's contained, I believed, are the, like, coders, like, nicknames for the coders and stuff that worked on this DLC. Hey, an arcane horror! It's not like I really wanted to see you anytime soon. Yeah, I am not cool with what you just did there. Everybody move out of the way. I believe the arcane horror is supposed to drop something there. Could be wrong. Okay, so here's a note. And Mathine. Sophia, Arlan and his entire family have been slaughtered, even the children. The real line is no more, and the Arling belongs to the crown for now. Arlan believed Ruan was plotting against him. Ruan criticized the king's spending on Wintersend. That is all. It was an idle word spoken out of turn. The king goes too far. His brain is filled with madness, and he clings to the crown like a drowning man clutches at a straw. Sophia, I beg you, help us. If nothing is done, more will suffer. Your humble servant, Wolf. Oh, that's interesting, I suppose. Here's a room. Not really interested.
I'm off.
Directly. Immediately.
Plea from Commander Althar. Codex updated. Soldier's Peak is more than we bargained for. There's sinister magic at work here. The men are seeing things and cannot tell nightmares from reality. The fallen return to life to attack again and again, and we are assaulted by dark creatures, the likes of which I have never seen. Whoever is responsible is intent on destroying us all, the King's army and the Grey Wardens both. Send help. We cannot last much longer, Commander Athlar.
All right.
A shock bomb.
Yes.
Allow me. I could do that for you.
Prince Fluffernutter! Okay. Okay, so strength, dex. Final blow, war cry. Okay, so that was that area. Time to go this way. There's not a... This area is small. Like, the map is not meant to be large. It's not meant to have a whole lot of stuff in it. So, I should be able to get through this fairly quickly. However... that will be in the next recording, due to the fact that I'm getting close to my end here. I'm going to go ahead and save, end the recording here, but I will most likely continue recording for tonight in order to get more footage, since I have that option. Alright, thank you for watching. Have a good day.